Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff. We are here off the block. I'm here with co-host Chip. We've got a great guest with us here, Curis Wang, from the CEO of Bitrue. Man, it's awesome to have you back with us. We had you on before. This is great. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me again, and good to be back. With you guys.
That's great.
Yeah. A little bit, I was say a little bit different scenario because we're all kind of like trapped in our homes or somewhere, right? We're living somewhere in our homes, but it's awesome. But it's who really knows either way. But I think, yeah, it's great to have you back on. There's a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some new products and new things you have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff, when does that start exactly?
Right now.
And now, off the block with Jeff and Chip on the chain.
Whoa, welcome back. So this is great. So it's been, I don't know, since the last time we talked to you. It was pre-CV, right? Or
right.
right. So anyway, it looks like you've got some new changes going on the website. There's a lot of things that are happening. And maybe you can just like give us a little bit of a glimpse on how life has been over the past 5 months, secluded,
right,
in quarantine. But tell us a little bit about what's been going on.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the interview last time. You gave us a lot of feedback and suggestion. We need to put a lot of information over our website. So after our call last time, we asked our team to start to redesign the whole website, look and feel, and then put some information on the website, and then retire those old languages as well. And then another good thing happened over Bitrue. And then overall, I'm pretty satisfied with our progression, especially for the first half year of the 2020. We all know that. Especially like starting from probably February, March, it was extremely tough time for a lot of people. And then good thing that we Bitrue side we didn't slow down. Instead, we made a lot of progress. Not just look and feel for the website, but also, for example, like we just have update our white paper recently, maybe last month, and we just have our second anniversary celebration of Bitrue. So Bitrue right now is official like 2 years old already. And then so if you compare like right now against last year, we grew like we are like 3 times bigger already. Compared to Bitrue last year, right? In terms of size of community, user base, and then trading volume too, and then also the amount of asset we manage for our people is growing dramatically. I think we are in pretty good shape, and then we are on the right track. So I can tell you this: we are still from every single day I'm looking at the numbers, like how many new users, how many new deposit, and then we are seeing very promising growth for Bitrue side. So, and then let's say in the past 2 years, we spent, I would say, most of our time pretty focusing on how to grow our community, how to expand our features in order to satisfy users' needs, especially over trading side. And then so right now we have like literally over like 1.5 million registered users already. And then I would say last year we were still a small exchange, but this year right now I think that we are like top tier 2 exchange already, and then we are on the right track to become a tier 1, hopefully in the coming up next years we could be the tier 1 exchange. But at least right now we are seeing very promising growth. Yeah, another thing we done in the past couple of months, especially like, for example, like people care about the security measurement, right? I mean, I think we were I think in 2 months ago, we just come out our insurance address, wallet address too. Because last time I probably talk about this as well. Like most of the people, they have their insurance coverage over their Coil wallet. And then actually to have insurance cover your Coil wallet doesn't really mean anything, because that's nothing you should be worried about. You should be worried about your hard wallet. And then because of the asset we manage for our users is the amount is increasing a lot. And then so we decide to be really transparent with our community. So we come up with wallet, like it's our insurance wallet. So we show with our address of that wallet that this is something that we use to cover our hard wallet too. And then so you can see that if you follow our, let's say, Twitter official account, you can see that we also come out a lot of new security feature. Like just like a few days ago, we will come out like freeze your own account. If you see, if you feel like suspicious that someone probably hacked your account already, you can freeze it right away. So this kind of thing that been, so I would say right now, in terms of, let's say, staff size, we are hiring more engineering because we are putting, like, I would say, probably 30% of our, or 40% of our people into security area. So and we'll keep doing that, especially like to be honest with you, like June 27th is our security day. Because I can remember, like last year, same day, June 27th was the day Bitrue was hacked, and then but we recovered back right away in a week, and then so that's sort of like we set a flag out there. Okay, they kind of remind us the whole team we need to have there's a security topic discussion, some panel discussion, like internal discussion. I mean, how much further we can improve over security area. So not just security area. So recently we are about stepping into, I would say, rebranding our Bitrue as well. So previously it's more like we position ourselves like Bitrue Exchange. We focus a lot of over stuff, like trading function, especially offering they say token swap, token trading. And then we also, in May, we also launched our OTC fiat service as well. And then we are happy to see that, because right now we only have the credit card purchase, allow you to purchase Bitcoin, XRP, but also we have OTC service, not just serving our, let's say, institution level user, but also serving our retail customer too. So, and then right now we are stepping into, they say, phase 2, we are going to rebrand ourselves as a Bitrue Finance. That means we're going to put more focus on finance, offering more diversified financial product for our users, and then trading feature. But of course, we're going to still,
What kind of financial products are you referring? Like, where would you go with that as you rebrand?
You know that we will probably like the very first exchange offering like investment product, like we call it public, right? Bitrue public, and then we have you to earn your token while you hold it, and then I think we launched it, like we've been running this for like maybe a year and a half already. We started like late 2018, and then so a lot of people, they are happy with it. I know a lot of people before, a lot of people will talk a lot about thought about Bitrue, and they're saying that this is a scammer, it's too good to be true. But the thing is that, especially when we did that in early stage, like like late 2018, we were the first one doing that. So a lot of people will have some thought, what's this offering, what is so amazing. But if you look at what's happening today, everyone's offering interest, right?
I was going to say, so you have other companies like Celsius, and I think Binance is doing something similar. You have staking on Coinbase. How would you differentiate? When we look at it from that perspective, people are I don't know if the right terminology would be staking, or if at least they're investing or they're saving their digital asset, and they're gaining interest off of it. with Celsius, one of the things that Alex Mashinsky told us when he was on was that with them, they're taking those holdings and they're lending them out to institutions. So are you working kind of in a similar mechanism? How would you be similar or different, let's say, than what Celsius is doing?
So I think today we are actually offering more competitive rate yield compared to any other company or platform. Like Celsius is one example. I mean, I do respect what Alex they are trying to achieve. It's great stuff. I love it. And then and so right now I think we are trying to support more, I say, token than any one company do today. And then if you look at the rate, we're not just offering, let's say, we try to diversify our financial investment product. For example, like, so a lot of people, especially recently, a lot of people today, they talk about DeFi, right? DeFi is trending right now every single day. Like, people are talking about DeFi and this DeFi, that DeFi project. But the thing is, I think most of people, they have the issues that they're only talking about the technology. They're only talking about the smart contract protocol. But I think, like, according to my experience doing business, I think the key thing is not what kind of technology you are offering. I think it's more like what kind of problem you're solving for investors, for your users, for people. So, for example, like we are seeing, so we done a lot of, let's say, survey as well with our users, and realize that so different people, they will have different kind of need. For example, like some people, they don't have a lot of asset to manage. They just want to have some flexibility, some short-term investment. So they don't want to have lockup. They just want to, okay, I hold it for like maybe a month, and then maybe I will sell it tomorrow. And then so this kind of user, like you need like maybe the current public will be great stuff, right? Like they can always opt in, and then they can always opt out to trade. And then some people, they are like high net worth individual people. What they are looking for is like they're looking for more, they say, diversified investment portfolio. They want to not just put their egg over one single basket. They want to have some, maybe some over CeFi, some over DeFi, and then some of them, they want to have control over their private key as well. And some of people, they are willing to take, higher risk, but, to bear higher risk, but they want to looking for a higher return as well. So I think that Bitrue today, we've been thinking about this question a lot. So for example, like LS, what they're doing is more like whatever is CeFi or DeFi, right? But we want to offering something else, like we want to come up some other financial investment option to fulfill this kind of need. For example, some people, they want to have, it's more like short-term investment. We'll have a short-term investment earning product for them. Some people, they want to earn higher yield, and then we will come up some higher yield, longer period. And then some of the people, they say, oh, I want to, I don't trust you, I don't trust your platform. I'll do all my private key. Then DeFi will be the, perfect solution for them. So we are gonna, how do I say that? We're gonna position ourselves like, to offer diversify earning or investment options for different people. I think that's what we're looking at. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if we took a step back, you talk about, the changes from a security perspective and more of an emphasis and focus on security. If somebody is now investing or putting their money or their digital asset, they're putting them in, you're holding them, you're securing them, or you're reinvesting them. They're getting an interest on that. How are you, really providing that comfort to them that their asset is secure? I know you're privately insuring it, but what would you say the mechanism is in that place? Are you lending that digital asset out to institutions? Are you holding them in cold storage? Are you putting them in? Are they in hot wallets? What would that mechanism be? For an investor.
So right now, we have, let's say, we come with, I would say, 3-layer protection. So the first layer will be more like policy management. So we have, first of all, we have regular internal, external audit. We have some staff training for new hire. and then we monitor our process, because a lot of mistake happening, a lot of bad things happen. It's not because your system have some leakage. It's more like people. So most of the hackers, they try to attack people instead of your system. So we have that very, they say, we set up some policy, internal policy, especially when we have some external consulting company to do the audit for us as well, to make sure everything we follow the right thing to do. And then the second tier will be because we are managing more asset for people already compared to last year. So right now, we still, we strictly, keep our policy to keep most of the asset. I would say right now probably our policy is that we need to at least maintain 95% of our total asset in Coil wallet. But actually today it's like probably sometimes 98%, sometimes 99%, and then over Coil wallet. And then so we try to limit the amount in hot wallet, to be honest. And then so the last year will be if really bad thing happened to a hot wallet, at least you have got something to cover your hot wallet. And then so that's the, let's say, 3-tier thing. We are, and especially for the second tier, we spend more effort and resource to build our, keep improving our security architecture. And then for the last year, the insurance wallet, we are actually injecting more money into this wallet too. So some people, they won't notice that because you can see that because there's the address open out there. It's public. So
that's the point, I guess. From that, if you look at the wallet that you've made public, are you holding multiple assets in this wallet, or is it just one asset? Is it all going into, was it BTR, or what is the mechanism there?
So right now we have two kind of assets. We have XRP and then BTR. Majority is XRP because we do a lot of XRP asset over Bitrue. So we want, and a lot of people, they trust the value of over XRP. And then, so coming out down the road, we're probably gonna diversify, the asset in the insurance wallet as well. Like maybe we have multiple, asset.
Different assets.
Probably won't come out, let's say more than 10 assets is not necessary. Maybe we just put, Bitcoin, some stablecoin, USDC, or this kind of stuff into the wallet. But the most important is that we need to make sure that the amount in the, insurance wallet is always enough to cover the amount of hot wallet. And then so we right now, the top priority for us is not, let's say, growing, is to be stable and safe.
Stability is important. Safe stability.
Turns out, people like that actually. It's funny how that works. But I was going to ask you, so one of the things you mentioned early is your growth, right? So congratulations on that. 3 times bigger. You've really grown the exchange. You see a lot of new people. Your XRP, really, I think the only one that I'm aware of is really centric. There was another one. They didn't last. They were out of Europe somewhere. But you're really an exchange that is focused on XRP. I wanted to ask you, where do you see in some of the biggest growth coming from as far as the exchange? Are you seeing new countries opening up? I mean, where is that growth coming from, or is it kind of mixed?
I don't know, it kind of mixed. I would say, I think reputation and credit matters. So I can share a number with you. So for example, right now, if we're looking at the filter, right? I mean, the people register over your exchange, then they will deposit their asset, they will start to trade, and then we are seeing like half a user will deposit on day one, they register over Bitrue, and then this is pretty amazing convert rate. At least if I compare ourselves today and before last year, or compare ourselves like 6 months ago, I mean, we did a lot of increase over that convert rate. And then I think reason because of that, I think before I think the longer you run this business, the longer you run exchange, people will have more trust or credit over your business, right? Just like Alex from Celsius, he mentioned that he talked to me once, like say, okay, one of his tasks is to hop on the YouTube or hop on the community, talk to people. Right. I'm still here. I'm still running this business. We're still growing. We're doing great, right? And then people will start to talk to you, right? Same here. For example, last year, some people, they don't really know us. They will talk about, oh, are you legit, right? Are you safe? are you a Ponzi scheme? How come you offer this kind of power picking style owning product, so good service to community? And then, but the longer you run this business, and then you're still here, and people will start to, I don't know, trust you. And then, especially that more and more people, they realize, I mean, our relationship with Ripple is kind of close. And then also, especially this year, another angle we are working on is like we are. That's one reason I'm pretty busy in hiring people, because we want to. Previously, we more focus on B2C side, how to grow our user base, community, how to, optimize our product. But this year we're gonna expand our B2B business as well, have more partnership going on.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in because you guys actually broke Twitter on your 2nd anniversary. There was a time where I could not go to my Twitter feed. I couldn't see anything but Bitrue. You guys destroyed my feed. I was like, did Twitter break? I'm like scrolling, and all I saw was Bitrue, and it was this thing and that thing. And I was like, whatever you guys did, you guys came up with a clever campaign, and you destroyed internet. You just broke Twitter for a couple of days,
I'm sincerely sorry about that. I know that that's pretty annoying, but I'm happy with what our marketing team did. Like, I think that was a pretty, I would say, fine campaign.
It worked, right? Is what you're saying. You it actually worked. You actually were able to benefit, right? I mean, you saw what you had results.
Did you brought in new customers, or how was it? It was successful from that perspective.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
does that mean you're going to do it like in August?
Do it again once a month.
Every month,
once a month is Bitrue Twitter month.
You have to celebrate. It's like our 2.5 birthday. When kids are young, you have young kids. It's like they always go, I'm 2 years old and 2.5 years old and 2, almost 3, and they do the months thing. They go like, how old's your kid? It's 18 months, and I go, I got to do the math. Oh, that's a year and a half. How old is it? 22 months. Wait a minute. It's like almost 2 years. So maybe you'll do something like that.
Yeah, hopefully, because otherwise we got to wait a whole another year. We'll wait for the 3rd year. Third year will be exciting.
Well, 3rd year, I can't wait to see what you guys do then. I mean, if you guys broke Twitter, maybe you'll break some other social networks as well. Yeah, it's always a possibility. But no.
Someone come out a picture, Bitrue broke the internet, like.
Well, I will tell you though, it did get a lot of chatter. People are like, "Are you guys watching this?" And then, people were like, a lot of people reach out to Jeff and I. There's a lot of different channels and a lot of chats, DM groups and stuff. Everybody was talking about it. It was like, and they're like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" "I'm doing it." "Yeah, click on this." "I'm doing it." And it was like, everybody is like, "What do you mean you're not doing it? How come you're not doing it?" It was crazy, man. It was a crazy time.
Well, I would say it was fun. Like, people, at first people out there for celebrating, right, to earn some incentive, earn some bonus out there. But after that, I mean, actually people play you like a game, right? And then like for like, and then so a lot of people they don't care about like how much they got from the lottery. They care about, I got 400, 500 likes. I'm like influencer right now, right?
Well, when you're on Twitter and you're putting out some quality content and you're excited about it and nobody likes your thing, it's a little bit. I mean, that's how a lot of us started. You're like, it's like an echo chamber. Nobody hears it. It's like, hello, it's like yelling in the forest somewhere. So all of a sudden, I was watching. Yeah, I was seeing people that I'd never heard of before, and I was like going in the inside of their the comments to see who it was.
Yeah.
So.
And that's an interesting point, because if you think about what's happening right now, and obviously as you see new people joining, one of the things that we see coming into our channel, and we don't have tens of thousands of subscribers yet in the channels, but it's amazing because we're starting to see more and more and more new people, especially when we're doing the live streams, or we're doing the premieres, and there's tons of new people that are commenting and participating. And that's just a microcosm of what's happening out in the digital asset space and the blockchain space as a whole. What are you seeing on your side? Are you seeing some new kind of new blood coming into the space, new money coming into the space, or do you think it's just people that have been around kind of moving on different platforms?
Yes and no. Yes and no. So I think a lot of people think that a lot of new money moving into DeFi. But from what I say is not right. People just redeploying their money over DeFi. Remember, like, if I'm not sure if you remember that, like 2018, like a month before we launched Bitrue, there's a exchange called Fcoin. People trade people trade not for trading. It's people trade for mining, right? And so similar thing is kind of happening over DeFi, right? I mean, so people redeploying their money over and over in order to mine either pump or whatever that is, right? But I mean, personally, I don't really, not a believer. I mean, I like the concept of DeFi, but I don't think DeFi is perfect. So it, like in our latest white paper, we also mentioned that we gonna come out some DeFi protocol as well, because like I mentioned that we need to fulfill diversified need, right, for different kind of people. And some people, they love DeFi, and then some people they don't. For example, for institution users, they don't really use DeFi. They can't, right? Otherwise, if they use DeFi, how can it be audited, right? So those kind of institutions, especially Wall Street people, they just can't use DeFi, right? I mean, so but for some users, they relatively put some portion of their asset into DeFi, to either earn or loan. That's fine. So so many people think that will be there are a lot of new money flowing to DeFi. I think that's a no. But as a yes, like for example, OCC, I mean, that's the biggest news recently. I think that at least I recognize, like, they sort of like recognize the adoption of the cryptocurrency have allowed traditional bank. I don't think traditional bank will up in cryptocurrency digital asset that fast. I don't think they're ready yet, because to be honest, it's pretty complicated. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that the digital assets is more difficult than traditional finance business, but I would say it's really purely different to area. So digital asset really requires, it's really techy. It requires a lot of techy people to get involved. So so recently we see some adoption more and more coming. So some new money coming in, but not a lot.
Okay. But getting ready, right?
Well, with the green market, a green market changes all that. The DeFi space, I think it's kind of what you said before, but it's the opposite. They're creating problems to solve. Let's create a problem, and let's figure out how we can solve it. It's like it almost feels too complicated to me. I look at some of these projects, and on paper it seems interesting, but what confuses me about the whole DeFi space is all the big words and all the complicated procedures. You try to like take all this, you read a white paper, and then you take it down to they're just doing this, but it's a whole bunch of complications and this and that and twisting and turning, and then you realize that that's what they're doing. Like it seems very overly complicated. I see a lot of like tech people, coders, people jumping in that really are into this stuff, but I don't necessarily know if the masses, Main Street is in there. Quick question. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on this new, the comptroller came out and said that digital assets can now be custodied inside of banks. What are your thoughts about that? And do you guys see any opportunity there?
So in short term, not yet, but I think that's pretty good sign to see that. So that means the cryptocurrency will be maybe will be more regulated, and then so but at least in short term, I don't think like there will be more traditional financial bank they will up into cryptocurrency yet. But that's definitely encouraging, because we are seeing some number like every single year we are seeing like 30% year-over-year growth in terms of Bitcoin wallet address. And then so we are also seeing the demand in the market that people are asking for more like financial asset management over cryptocurrency. Because at least there's a trend we are seeing it right now that more and more people recognize this, especially after DeFi the trend. Whether DeFi is good or not, but there will be more people talking about this because they are seeing that traditional financial institutions, they are losing their advantage or they are losing their power because of their cost and low yield. So, and then, I mean, of course, I mean, for digital currency right now, the yield is good, but it won't last for all good, right? It won't last for good, I think, but it will be definitely higher than traditional, I mean, financial service because we are using the value of internet to improve our efficiency. So, so I'm, with this the OCC stuff, I mean, like bank they're allowed to custody, cryptocurrency. I think it will increase the adoption of Bitcoin. But I don't think any, let's say, movement will happening for the 2020, the rest of the 2020. But at least in long term, I think it's yeah.
Yeah. So here's an interesting follow up to that. Then, what if and it's funny because we talk about this a lot. We talk about the crypto space, these exchanges. We talk about banks wanting to get into the crypto space. I've kind of established a theory that if you're putting your money or digital asset into a crypto exchange, that's basically a bank. They're holding and protecting your asset. And we're starting to see this blending of crypto exchanges and banks. So I guess two points to this. One, do you see yourself as Bitrue moving into the banking space? That would be a starting point. I mean, is that something that you kind of perceive as a future for Bitrue to be considered a bank or get into banking?
That's our goal. So our goal again is like we are hoping to provide, let's say, disrupt financial service to to global. So there are still 2 billion of users they still unbanked, right? And we are hoping that we could provide some service for those 2 billion of people. And then the other thing is that
the unbanked.
The unbanked users.
The current unbanked.
Right.
Okay.
Users. And then
right.
That's definitely quite challenging because we need to find a easy, friendly way for those people to sign up cryptocurrency.
They'd have to be able to get crypto, right?
Right. So there's something we are working on right now. Is more like we are trying to offer more friendly way to purchase cryptocurrency because like most of people they know how to use credit card, debit card, but a lot of people they just don't know what is wire, what's ACH. There's a difference between wire and ACH, and then not to mention they don't even know. Okay, they don't even have a bank account. So we are working on this, and then it's gonna be a more like long-term project. But this is something we are determined and committed to work on, and so Bitrue, we are hoping that this is kind of aligned why we kind of rebrand ourselves as a Bitrue Finance because we also want to be the bank. It probably not 100% handling the fiat, but it's more like today, at least in short term, it's gonna be custody manage your digital currency. But maybe in long term, I think that there will be a blended between fiat and digital currency, right?
Right, that's right.
Some portion of my asset is in US dollars, but I want to diversify my portfolio into digital currency asset. That's a trend we are seeing, and then so we are stepping into that that area. That's for sure.
Okay. So here's the follow up to that then. So as we start seeing the exchanges, the digital asset exchanges wanting to become or enter into this banking space, opening up opportunities potentially, for the unbanked, because we know the cost of regular banking. So here, what do you think comes first? Do you see banks that want to get into the digital asset space buying digital asset exchanges, or do you see digital asset exchanges that are generating a huge amount of revenue that want to get into banking, start buying the banks? Which one comes first?
I think the second will come first. The reason is that we are always faster than. That's our advantage. I see. We are faster than those bankers. And then,
so who buys JP Morgan first?
Yeah,
And also too, and I want to ask you too. I mean, you can answer this or decline to answer it, but I would imagine you start getting successful, you hit your 2-year mark. Anybody been knocking on your door, acquisition, talking to you, partnership? I mean, I had to expect some of these conversations are happening.
Yeah, this is it's always there. This kind of conversation is always there, especially recently. A lot of people. That's why I want to expand our B2B team, because a lot of people knock on door, and then they want to have set up some partnership with Bitrue, and then just an example, not just acquisition, but also other area like institution. So previously, like still, I mean, at very beginning, our earning product is more like our marketing, this kind of thing, right? We're giving away our revenue to compensate, give interest to our users who hold the token over Bitrue. And then literally like a year ago, we launched our loan product. So we come out with another method to make our Power Big sustainable, right? And then, but only retail is not enough. For example, like Celsius or other, or generalized Genesis or like Nexo, they mainly like donate their money to institution customers, right? So recently there are more and more institution customers. They come to Bitrue, they want to borrow asset, they want to collateralize their asset in order to borrow maybe XRP or other stuff. Those kind of good things that are happening right now. So that's why we are deciding to expand our B2B business, because it's gonna help a lot to grow our B2C side exponentially.
That's excellent. Hey, I wanted to, Jeff, I mean, we're running out. We originally said we would talk to Curis for about a half hour, but we got going. And I want to really thank you for coming back on. It's great. It's your second time, on the show, and appreciate you with your busy schedule and everything. I guess before we go, Jeff and I probably just wanted to, for not only thank you, but just what would you like to leave the viewers with today? Like, is there something you'd like to say before we send off here?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you again, Jeff and Chip. So you gave us a lot of great feedback, especially over last time. And then we fixed our stuff, listened to your words, your suggestion.
Gotcha.
And then
thank you.
I would say this is something that always, talk to the whole team, that we are not perfect and we won't be perfect, but we try our best. To be honest, it's a pretty tough business. In cryptocurrency, it's not easy to survive, but I think we are doing great compared to a lot of company, because we are growing and then we are profitable already. And then so we will try our best to satisfy our users. And then I'm hoping that this year we are seeing like 3 times bigger than last year. And hopefully next year, when we, if I still got this opportunity to come back to, your show next year, maybe I can already say that, oh, you know what, we are 5 times bigger than last year. And then we are running our third, Bitrue anniversary again. And then we are breaking the Twitter and internet again and again.
Broke YouTube this time.
Yeah, right on.
So overall, I think we are doing great, but not enough. And then I'm just hoping that we could. Today we are already top tier to exchange already, and then probably we are even bigger than that of, let's say, financial platform like those DeFi or CeFi platform in terms of the asset management, the size. We are hoping that we can grow to another level and to become the, let's say, top 10, top 5 exchange. And then our goal is not to be dominant in cryptocurrency. Our goal is to using the value of internet to provide more better efficient, higher value to the financial service to serve our global users. And then that's more like the thing we are trying to grow. And then we are not focused on technology. We more focusing on what kind of problem we can solve for the world, for people. That's more thing I care about. So hopefully, like, we're gonna come up more great product, not just trading, but also financial product to align with the trend. I learn more people up in cryptocurrency, and then we come up more option to fulfill like their financial need, and then to serve more people. That's just my hope. And then hopefully Bitrue will make this true, right?
That's
Have to.
great.
It's part of your
That's
name.
great.
You have no choice.
Right.
But to make it
You
true.
got to make it true, right?
Make it happen. Yeah, right
You're
on.
gonna make it happen. That's awesome. You did a great job up to this point, 2 years in.
Yeah.
It's amazing growth, when I see a company that's been able to scale in a short period of time, and we're seeing more and more of this in the digital asset space, in the blockchain space. We're seeing growth that is unparalleled anywhere except outside the internet growth, back in the 90s. And so, now there's a mega race going on, as we're seeing this big movement into digital assets from fiat, and the awakening. When that awakening is coming, there's good things on the horizon. So, appreciate that you're taking one of those lead charges into that foray, bringing everything with it. So
Yeah.
that's great. But appreciate you being on again with us. It's outstanding. We'll look forward to having you back on again. Hopefully, before the 3rd-year anniversary, but definitely, for the 3rd-year anniversary would be a great place to celebrate with you.
Yeah. Thank you. And then cheers.
Take care. Have a good one, Curis.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks
we're
a
out
lot.
of here.
And we're out of here. That's it.
Boom.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.